Well, it's been quite a week so far, and it's only Tuesday. Um, just quick status update and a change in policy. I've decided to bring people a little bit closer to integrate needs and priorities with people that I'm working with. And if I'm not working with you, but you're interested, you found this somehow, and it's not obvious how to find everything you're looking for, reach out to me. I think there's ways on YouTube. If not, if you don't know who I am, I'm not that hard to find. I'm pretty open. Some of my videos actually have my email address there. You can find me if you're interested. But what we have at this stage is the process manager is about right. The runners are working well. The process is incubating correctly. If you've looked at some other videos that are public right now, you should know 40 to 60% of the infrastructure that I'm building, you could probably follow along if you wanted to. The system is open source, MIT licensed, but kind of close hold until I've worked out some security concerns. So, that's why I'm pulling some things back for a minute. Um, we've had some people that don't share my values want to use the system, and I'm like not okay with some of those consequences. Um, so we'll figure it out. It's a conversation rather than a decision. But tools are there. Demos will go out. Oh, there's a white paper. So the white paper is kind of interesting. I used a system science structure on that to just say this is what we're building and how you can understand it. Give you. I'm just going to read some of the top of what we've produced there. So it's the working title, the draft title is Modeling Under Resource Constraints with Acceptable Uncertainty. Kind of highfalutin, but basically it just says when you build stuff, we need to know which tools we're using, why, and when. How the conversation drives this thing, how we know what this should be, and really what these feedback loops are doing. So I built a 4D model that really is just the set of metrics that I would use with you as we're talking about your project. So the incubation process is this. We build some services in a really quick mocked up environment. We build out use cases interactively. We show how it would work and we show that the system is about right. Then we go a little bit deeper and we look at risk and uncertainty and make sure that that's going to be about right for you and make sure that the feedback loops, the observers, the entities that need to be in the conversation. We've set up some flows so that the process is moving the way you move, your organization moves. And then if that's going on correctly, we'll use the right tools for the right reasons. So the white paper just outlines what that should look like. Gives us a systems thinking mindset on that. So what we'll do is go ahead and request access to the white paper if you're interested. And anybody who has access to that doc, it's just a Google Doc. If you have read access on that doc um, or comment access, it's draft form right now, so let's look it through. And those are the people that get access to the demonstrations. So that gives us one or two less things to worry about as we build this out. The scope of our work is universal, I think, but I think we have an approach to it that should work. So what we do is we work in specific domains. We interactively build applications in the domain that capture what we need to do. That's part of what I call the ambient interface, where there are tools in place that can be explicitly used, but also we're looking at um, other ways to collect those signals in that environment. So Internet of Things, secondary indicators, what you need to run your flows the way you need to with the information, either that we explicitly build or that already exists. So we're really big on integrations and making sure that works. So we work well in your domain. We build things out together. We decide the ownership of this. If this is something you own or something you need the community to own, or we build a co-op, or if I need to bring in others to assist in the process. So we make sure there's a win on the board for you. This very explicitly, the whole system was rebuilt several times to make sure that people with low budgets can participate. That is one of my values. If you need a six-figure check to get started, that isn't going to work. If you've got $10 or 10 minutes and an interest and a compelling reason for us to collaborate, that's probably about right to start. I mean, if you got more, but what we do is we work on a mutual benefit. So the value here, I'm looking for right now, the types of contracts I'm looking for, I call them 10-2 contracts. That means that we build something together and we make sure the price of the contract does not exceed 10% of my direct value add. So if you're already a great organization, you're doing well, and we're building some features for you, or we're solving some problems for you, or whatever we're doing, we want to measure what that value add is, and we want to make sure that there's a limit to it. That means we've guaranteed a win, that this is about correct. The two version of that is that I double my input, and I can handle the doubling for now. Meaning, that's why we talk about, well, who owns this? If this made 100 grand for you and $10,000 is the max I can charge, then and it cost me 10 million to build, then obviously you don't own it. If there's IP or special things there and that we protect, we absolutely 100% protect them. And then we don't do projects, if not everybody can win. So I'm making sure you're winning. I'm making sure I'm winning, and I'm very open about that process. We can deal with past, present, future. So if we've worked together and you feel like I haven't lived up to expectations, hey, I owe you. Let's talk. If there are things we can do right now, great. If we think that it's worth collaborating on because a shared ownership or shared a revenue share could make sense, that everybody wins, let's do that. We can structure pretty much any agreement. And because we're operational data heavy, we have a system that can watch almost anything. So almost any type of an agreement, as long as it's legal and ethical, can be put together. But that's what I'm looking for, is 10-2 contracts where I know that the people I collaborate with are winning. The other part of that is when we look at future, we're looking at 3 or 4 things. One of them is, look, we're all going to win. We're all on that trajectory. This is the moment where things get a lot less expensive and where a lot of interesting players can emerge. And so recognizing that I'm not the only solution out there. If you had hired certain teams, or you learn certain practices, or you use the second mover advantage, or you build in ways that you would have, based on your track record or based on reality, at some point you're going to win. So if you're going to win with me and you get there faster, there's some value there, but it's not a permanent ownership. I like the ability for us to move in and out of each other's spheres based on merit and delivery, and not based on anything else. This makes contracts easier to enforce. If you're winning, you're going to win anyway. My participation when I'm getting certain things back, or we've designed a way for us to figure out what relationships should be on an ongoing basis. I know that most people don't see it that way. Most people in the business world, I have an MBA, and I have seen a lot of zero-sum game strategies played out, and I have looked at maximum profit, and I have looked at ways to do this, and I have looked at companies who were really, really good at them. But I got my MBA decades ago, and all of those business cases of all the names of people that are good at that, they're not the world leaders today. they were good then, they are absolutely not the leaders today. And so my guess is that the shift in how we value one another has to do with an ongoing relationship. It's an experiment to see if these kinds of contracts work or if it makes me the ultimate loser. We'll see. But that's the way I see it going forward. So I've got a white paper. If you get access for now onto the white paper, you'll have access to all of the deliveries. The deliveries are working locally. We'll see. Um, I'll probably report publicly a little bit about the wins, but in a way that protects, the people I work with to make sure that they can get what they need. So I've been about as open as I'm going to be for a moment, and we'll shift that when certain conversations take place. There's a structure to this that there's an on ramp to this that should work about right. We'll see, or I'll adjust it if it's not working about right. But anyway, so ask for the white paper, access to the white paper, even if you don't know me, and we'll just have a conversation about what our relationship is, and make sure that you're safe and I'm safe, and that we can move forward. And then let's go from there. Thanks.